No, it looked brutal, man. It looked so brutal.
That's my salty tale.
Yeah, feels bad, man.
So this is game 3, did he say? Does that mean Avilo took a map off TLO?
No. This is a fresh series, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Game 3 was for Momin versus whoever. I forgot Momin's opponent.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Because if Avilo took a map off TLO, then hot diddly damn, that would be impressive.
I mean, TLO's ZVT was looking pretty good last week, so I doubt that, but we'll see.
Was there other casters in here? I think there was, right?
Yeah, like about 10.
About 10?
Casters, so yeah.
Let's see. Everyone's like, oh, I don't want to disturb the players. Guys, observer chat, the players can't see it. You can type here, guys. I think they probably all just joined as well, so no one knows. It's like, I think it's game 1. Let's assume it's game 1. So, by the way, squad stream, did you accept?
No, I didn't.
Can you give it a real quick accept, just so, because a few people in chat who are actually on mobile, like, they're like, please.
Okay. All right, I gotta log into my Twitch dashboard.
Oh, okay, no worries.
All right, accept. Yes, it is game 1. Great, wonderful.
All right, let's go. Start squad stream. Invite sent. Start squad stream. Yep, there we go. Registered. Beautiful. Okay, fantastic.
Dashboard. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, in the bottom right here, it is the Wunderwunsch TLO from Team Liquid. And in the top left in the blue, this is Avilo.
So this is the guy who popularized all good Terran playstyles in the game, for anyone who doesn't know.
Invented mech play, I believe.
Yeah. He's a trailblazer. You know, has had some great moments in the qualifiers, including fantastic things like talking about how Swarm Hosts are a good balance design and game design from Blizzard, and how Infestors and Vipers are fair spellcasters.
To be fair, that does sound like a lot of players. I've definitely heard more than one player have some strong opinions on Swarm Hosts, Vipers. And
few of them float their buildings to the corner of the map and then repeat those complaints for 7 minutes straight while Jon Snow kills them with 67 Swarm Hosts, though.
That is definitely a shorter list. It's a much longer list of people that have complained about spellcasters in the game, but yeah, shorter list of players that have floated structures to the corner of the map.
Yeah. You know, somewhere out there, I've been watching a lot of Rick and Morty, so I guess this is always in my head. There's an alternate timeline, right? An ultimate dimension where Avilo, whenever he's winning a game, doesn't tell his opponent to get the fuck out and that they're trash. And there's like a very different community sentiment, I think, towards Avilo.
I've actually seen him play or cast him in a hot minute, and by that I mean like 5 or 6 years, maybe. Is it still same sort of same old, or?
Well, I think I've always said there's two versions of Avilo. You know, he's like reasonably chill and cool for a bit, but then there's like trigger point units, right? Where it's like I don't think there's a better unit than Triggered for Avilo, and it's like, you know, normally he keeps that beast in the corner, that angry tilt monster, but there's this like a certain time where he gets like beaten by nukes or fungals, parasitic bombs, swarm hosts, someone who uses ravens better than him, anything like that. Where I think it brings out that tilt monster. And you always see this because if you just look, if there was a chart of his MMR, you would see it go up about 500 to 700 MMR when he's on a good streak, and he hasn't been tilted by that in a while. And then he gets hit a few of those games by like mass swarm host and that sort of stuff, and he just goes on like a spiral of like minus 1,000 MMR where he gets down to like, you know, Masters 2, about there sometimes, and you're like, whoa. Right. He went from high GM to Masters 2. So I think he's like, it depends what streak he's on. I think recently, the last few months, he's been on a pretty good streak in terms of his ladder play.
Oh, good. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we are seeing a Fusion Core getting dropped down for Avilo right now. And as someone that opens Fusion Core against Zerg, I'm going to let you know that if they get a Roach Warren nice and early, that's going to be rough for you. But
only if they commit to an attack, though, right?
I mean, that's the thing, is that TLO just needs to... He doesn't need to keep making roaches. He can just make the 6 and then go straight into drones afterwards, which I think he might.
And just, like, keep the BC at home, eh?
Yeah. See, Avilo actually, I think, he got his Viking out and then went straight into Banshee because he is afraid of a roach attack instead of just making that, you know, saving that money for the BC.
Yeah, I mean, he saw no Ling speed, and he also only got, like, 4 workers there, which is kind of sad. When your opponent skips Ling speed and you throw away 4 Hellions, you really want more than that. Now seeing the roaches. Yeah, I mean, third CC is going to start on the high ground. Banshees will be here. I think the most important thing for Avilo is just keep the Hellions on the high ground. Their splash damage is not bad versus roaches if they're all clumped up on the ramp. And just get your SCVs to the high ground before they arrive. If he lands the Viking as well, this could actually be a very clean hold and, you know, it could just progress to the next stage. TLO's only at 38 workers. Obviously, he'll be at about 60 by the time this roach attack finishes up. But, I mean, you lose a bit of mining time as long as you raise that depot.
Okay, well.
Oh, he's... Okay.
He let in one roach and it has gone down. So this ramp position for Avilo is actually quite nice defensively.
Yeah.
SCVs on auto repair.
Good auto repair.
It's actually a very nice hold from Avilo. Very,
Yeah.
very nice.
2 SCVs. It's not bad. He's going to go... Oh, okay. This is a bit... Get down there with your fighting units, not your drilly boys.
Yeah.
That mule was almost out anyway. Yeah.
He gets a mule, but that was, very cost-efficient hold for Avilo. Now, TLO, he ain't done. He's getting weird here. Spire in the natural, dropping an extra couple of gases. This is something that some Zergs like to do as a follow-up, but it feels like there's a window where they're very weak on the ground to Terran just rolling up into their natural and killing drones.
Yeah, I mean, right now, what have we got on the ground? No roaches, just 6 Zerglings. We were teasing TLO last week when he had an incredible run to those grand finals about having minimal defense and always being like, well, you're going to die to the Hellion run by... He's so good at pulling his drones away and defending with just small numbers of queens and lings. TLO, I think, has developed this minimal Zerg defense to an art form. And whenever he senses his opponent's committing a little bit too much, lings across the map for the backstab. He's so tactically intelligent with when these lings commit. Look at that. Ling's going to take out the depot builder. He's going to get in that mineral line, and there's no units building. So he pulls all the pressure home. And behind this, we've got a battlecruiser's going to pop as the Spire finishes. So that's pretty bad BC timing. Like, I really wouldn't mind seeing just straight Corruptors, but I think it'll be Mutalisks, right?
I mean, the Mutas kind of really shut down the ground army, but I think after the BC shows up in the main, TLO might switch gears into Corruptors.
Oh, look at that Spore timing.
Yeah, that Spore finishing just in time. Now, one of the Queens goes down, but this is enough anti-air firepower to force the BC out of the main base. Good news for Avilo here is that he is still killing Queens. The BC is still alive. And also, he is going to Cyclones here with Macfield Accelerator. So if PLO does go for Corruptors, they can be dealt with, but it is going to be Mutalisks, which are, I think, slightly stronger in this situation.
Yeah, I really like the Mutas. I mean, you've got 70 workers now. You don't have crazy creep spread, but you can do so much momentum. You can just... Cyclone's very fragile units. I wouldn't mind just seeing non-stop Zerglings going in as well. We've already got, like, Ling Roach just pressuring, looking for openings, looking to distract Avilo, force him to micro. I think TLO might be getting a little bit overeager with these roaches. He wants to get rid of the Cyclone. He really just wants to keep Avilo busy here so that the Mutas can be more of a surprise maneuver. The Queen's still chasing that battlecruiser, which is just slowly walking home. And Avilo, I mean, what's the anti-air situation? We've got a red hit point BC. It's about to get caught.
Yeah, it's already burned his tactical jump, so down it goes. And yeah, he's got a tank here, but none of these things shoot up. No, this is the Banshee, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So these Mutas are very, very strong for TLO. I think Avilo expected Corruptors here.
I mean, that tank needed to join Zest's team, needed to join Raise Your Edge Gaming, needed to raise your turret gaming, because nothing shoots up in this base, and that's that. GG's.
All right. Yeah, well, GG as the player didn't opt to do so. There we go. TLO wins game number 1. Well played. Guys, sorry, apparently you're louder than I am. How's my volume on your end?
Chat, let us know. I'm going to scroll back a few minutes in chat to see if anyone says. A few random questions from people. No one commenting on it. So I do think I'm a little louder than you, because if I look at where my bot... No, I think we're actually very balanced right now. Okay. If I start shouting, maybe I'll be a little louder, but you're not shouting either, so I'm sure we'll both jump up. I think we're pretty good.
I might just lower you a tad on my end.
Yeah, let me raise you as well, just a little. Exit minimize video. How do we do that again? We go in Zoom. You can just right click someone, is it, or what? How do you? Or you just raise it in OBS? Is that how you do it? Maybe?
I actually have like a.
Oh, you use your mixing setup, so you're not changing it in the program.
No, I got to go XLR thing. So I actually just like have faders where I just pull you down or pull you up.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just turn you up a little, I guess. All
right, I dropped you like 10%. Test. Piggly Wiggly, you there?
Yep. Testing.
Yep, there we go. I just dropped you 10%. So hopefully that does all right.
Cool. I mean, I turned you up just a little bit as well, so...
Now you're
good.
too quiet. I disagree with chat.
Shit, I was too slow to get in the lobby. TLO even invited me. Oh my god.
You're in?
Yeah.
Got you.
I mean, he manually invited me rather than just posting a link. That's me being a bad caster. Bad caster pig. He should not have to do that.
Too busy with your stream and your settings and shit?
Yeah, get in the lobby, then fix the settings. I'm still tilted from those Adepts and Oracles murdering me, guys.
Oh. That kind of game's you're gonna feel that one for the rest of the day, I think.
It's totally my fault as well, because it's like the game too. I was like, oh, make Ravages and Banelings and Headbutt, and it was like, maybe scout and think about what you're doing a little bit and realize you're playing against Blinkstalker Colossus and headbutting with Ravager Bane's not the greatest idea. But you know what? We bring it upon ourselves. We're going to take that responsibility for our losses, and I'm sure both of these players will have to do that as well this series.
Yes, indeed. On the far right here from Team Liquid, the Germans are currently up 1 in the series on match point. It is TLO. And you can do our friend here on the far left.
Representing AVNA, you can tell it's the legit, the real, the 100% verified Avilo, not only because there is a turtle with a sideways cap and some love heart goggles on, but it is AVNA, not AIVNA. That is, of course, the Riddler's clan. Over here in the left, the one and only, it's Avilo.
Yes, it is. Hell yeah. So this is one of the new ladder maps. It feels absolutely massive, by the way. It's the first thing I felt like when I played on this map is just how big it feels. I don't know if it actually is big, but it feels like that, because everything's sort of set on its side, you have this sort of backdoor area that becomes weird if you knock down the minerals.
Yeah, I mean...
It feels like you have like a million... It feels like you got the state of Texas to play in to the north side of the map as well.
It's like very funky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's not really, in terms of raw, squares and space on the map, it's not big, but it really is all about how you use it. And Superhuman... the map maker, a very big master of that, and he's found a way to he locks off the back door, but if you open the back door up, you can slide into your opponent's base and surprise them from the back of the main, which can be quite surprising. Not a lot of people ready for that. Sometimes you got to open people up to new experiences, Maynard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, variety is the spice of life, and new experiences are what it's all about. I think that one of the coolest strats I've seen on this map, and I do say cool with sort of air quotes here, is going for something similar that we saw on like Thunderbird back in the day. If you remember that map, where you can drop an extractor on the gas near the minerals and mine it out, and then sort of open up the back door to your opponent very, very quickly. And TLO does strike me as the kind of nerd that would do something like that, but he is playing pretty normal so far. So that's sort of just something that I've seen on this map, but we won't see this game, not just yet.
I'm surprised that there's a lot of aggressive builds off. You can even take your opponent's gold base or your own, and this drone wants to take its own gold base. So dodging the Reaper, lovely little path, is going to take that gold as a forward point. But Avilo's Reaper is watching. The drone's like, no, let me get to the gas geyser, please.
He senses the disturbance in the force. That's a nice pick off there for Avilo. Lings are here, but the Lings are slow, and if Avilo's paying it... Oh, no! Oh! Nearly went full Maynard there with that Reaper, and I'm glad to see that didn't happen, as the... losing your Reaper to slow Lings is a staple here on Twitch TV Maynard. Please do follow. Click...
I always tease, because, no one even tries that move, because it's like a top-level Terran should be ready for it. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of Terrans even get angry if the Zerg tries. Even if they keep the Reaper alive, they're already angry. They're like, how dare you? If I'm watching, I just kill free Zerglings for that, right? So it's this way which I find triggers Terran players really easily. This is why I love doing it. I'm like, you know what? If I lose a Zergling, just for the chance of pissing you off and the chance of getting that Reaper, no matter how small it is, I will go for that every time. And I like to see Dario also, I think, engaging in the psychological game and looking to kind of pinpoint his opponent's weakness and see if he can activate a little bit of annoyance and surprise from Avilo.
Yeah, you get him mad. They're not going to play to full full capacity. That's what I'm trying to say. So TLO did actually kill the Reaper, and the Reaper did not see the Roach Warren. This is once again just like game one. TLO was getting that Roach Warren around 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, so very early gas as well. So that's what is this? 8-9 roaches immediately?
I think so, yeah, because he's got that 3 Overlords about to pop as well, and as soon as they pop, he's going to have enough minerals in the bank to get a good number of roaches here.
Let's see. Does he choose? Oh, he builds 4 Zergling.
Huh.
Dario, at this point, for some reason, something's telling him that he doesn't want to commit, I think. I'm not...
The Lings are weird. I mean, if he made a bunch of roaches right now, that would make a ton of sense. That's one of the strongest things to do against a player that you know is going to mech, is to just go for like an early roach rush, because they usually at this point in the game, they only have reacted Hellions. They're trying to go towards some kind of starport unit. But if they're switching add-ons and being weird, it takes a little while. Avilo not even going for the Fusion Core this game. He's going for a quick Banshee and Cloak.
I like this backdoor expansion. What I don't like from Avilo is that there's no wall off. Now, with the fast third CC, obviously that's just because you don't need extra depots with this build. Literally 2 depots at the 5-minute mark. It's part of the whole advantage of one of these crazy fast third CCs, but you really do need a wall off and preferably a tank as well, because with that gold-based minerals, there's going to be a lot of Zerglings that could come. For now, it's just 5 roaches and 11 Zerglings, and this sort of middle ground poke is actually quite weak against what Avilo is doing. TLO still has no idea about the backdoor third.
That is very true. See, Avilo can actually just evacuate the natural here, pull back into the main base, and try and hold on here. His Banshee's about to pop out, which is going to help him out for sure. Lets one SCV take one for the team as he raises up that wall, and out comes that Banshee, starts shooting down these roaches, being shift-clicked through. The SCV's also repairing in the wall in. And Avilo did a great job defending last game there against the Roach Rush of TLO. Of course, this one is hitting a little bit later.
Ooh, Hellion run by at the same time on the gold base, but Avilo not focus firing right now. The Queen's trying to defend, is going to deny a bit of mining there. You know what? That's good counter damage from Avilo right now to slow down TLO's follow-up.
Yeah, and this position is something that TLO really can't do anything about. Another good couple drones killed there as the splash damage of the Hellions doing a fantastic job for Avilo. His third base, or rather his natural, is still floating through the sky, and the power of this third means that those SCVs had a new home immediately, so he could still keep up that mining pretty efficiently as Avilo does start the wall in that backdoor third. TLO now knows that the backdoor has been mined for the Terran, so in turn is going to have to react, and at the moment, things looking all right for the Terran. He's down a little bit in supply because the Zerg's just done nothing but build drones for a while behind this. And he is going for that Spire again. So
I do think Avilo was very vulnerable if there was just a hard push there. You know, if that was just, I think, non-stop ravageling, I do think TLO can just break up the ramp and win the game. But now with the kind of half push, he's found himself in a bit of an odd situation. Ling Roach is breaking through the back rock, so TLO opening himself up to these new experiences as well. I was going to send a single Roach to deal with those Hellions. Ling's coming in. Hellions and Banshees are in position, though.
Yep, good defense there from Avilo. He pushes back the Lings at the backdoor third, and those Roaches actually attacking to the natural decide to pull back as well. So TLO brings everything back home.
Yeah, I mean, Roaches are good versus the Hellions. They can't deal with the Banshees, though. I think TLO's just got to give up on this base right now, and he's got to try to backstab, you know. Try to do a Ling run by on the natural, on the other side. Try to do a Ling run by on this base. But behind this, I think he's just got to kind of get to that next step. And indeed, Mutalisks do start up now.
But Avilo is going immediately into Thor's and getting drilling claws. So he is feeling the meters so hard this time. He's like, I lost to it last game, not this time. And in fact, the Banshee's picking up a queen or two as well. Very nice. That means the Banshee's are just going to go flying through the defenses here of TLO, finding more and more damage.
This is big damage with this Banshee's trading out quite well. He's going to put one of them back, which is nice. As the Mutas here, lots of Ling Roach on the top side, though. Lots of factories are down. No actual units that fight just yet. There's like a couple Hellions, Banshees, and Mines. This low ground base very exposed right now. Mutas are going to be joining this. Overlord's pooping to speed this attack up. A few factories do go down on the low ground. Of course, that Widow Mine doing what Widow Mines do, shooting its own Hellions rather than the enemy units. Fantastic choice. I really think they need an AI patch for that.
Well, the Mutas actually eat a Widow Mine there. A Thor coming in from the south to try and help out that Magic Box one in the main. So that Thor goes down. The Roach is assisting with that.
Oh,
TLO gooping one of those Tech Lab factories to try and make sure...
Repair!
Yeah, he goes to the mass repair here. Big wraparound on that Thor. Can the Thor hold this line all on its own?
Thankfully, those SCVs, they will not be getting the criticism from the Drill Sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. They are happy to give a reach around there, but there's just too many of these Viet Cong Mutalisks, I guess.
I don't know, man. Those SCVs look like they could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
The Mutas, too much though, man.
And queers in Texas. And those SCVs don't look like steers to me. So that kind of narrows it down. 28 SCVs have died here. TLO's damage has been absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This game was looking so good for Avilo at the start, and that damage on the Queens was really substantial, but this counterattack from TLO, it just didn't seem... I mean, that's the thing. You go for these Thors, they are just not that strong against big swells of Roachling. TLO knows it, and he's all over him.
Yeah, Avilo just gets a little bit too uptight in his games here. He wanted to hard counter the Mutas so much. He's like, eBay for turrets, Thors, Widow Mines, everything. The Thors on their own were fine. I mean, you do need tanks as a solid backbone for your build, but this is something Avilo does where he wants to kind of put you in a box strategically with what you're doing and hard counter that one thing. And if there's one guy it's very hard to kind of put in a box, it's TLO. This man's a crazy wild person. And, you know, he goes for these opportunistic attacks. He accepts there's weakness there. And should we read it out? Good luck in the next rounds. I'd like some help getting attention to get my Twitch back. Okay. He wants to help people appeal. Appreciate it. Thank you.
People to help you appeal. Okay.
He's actually just making an appeal there. There was no hate at all. He just said, can you guys help appeal my ban on Twitch? I'd like to get back on. Been banned for 8+ months. And I feel like I deserve to be back on Twitch. Okay, cool.
There it is.
We go. GG's. Well done, TLO. The flexible man. Can't expect him to stay inflexible. TLO will always, you know, do a bunch of things that don't make sense if you're trying to simplify his strategy in your mind to understand it as being very simplistic. TLO will just opportunistically jab in. Good roachling attacks. Takes advantage, man.
There are yogis living in caves in India that have been fasting for 3 months straight that aren't as flexible as TLO is.
That's actually a true thing. I like how we were kind of making fun of Dario last week when we were casting him a little bit. Did see TLO tweet. He's like, people are still making fun of me about not shaking hands at Katowice. He's like, God damn it, guys. Are you serious?
I never made fun of him. I never made fun of him. I remember I had never actually heard of the elbow bump thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, and when Roddy said that TLO was bumping elbows at Katowice, I was like, really? And that's the extent of my teasing. Because I'd never actually heard of the elbow bump before. As someone that is, you know, as an Australian, someone that's worked in offices and gone to lots of meetings, that sort of thing, it's like really important to have like a firm handshake in my book. And the handshakes are like a big part of my social interactions with like fans, with anyone. You know, anytime I see you, or we hug each other, the casters, but anytime I meet a fan or someone like that I've just met that's like an important figure or something like that, instantly go in for the handshake. Yeah,
it's like the normal thing, right? It's definitely like built into our culture. And I think obviously as we move towards megacities, more and more new viruses popping up from animals crossing over and shit like that, it's like probably something that we'll have to get rid of culturally in the next 50 years, right? Unless we can maybe get a purge going and limit the population some other way, which I'd be totally down with, by the way. What are your thoughts on Purge Day, Maynard?
I mean, Purge seems good. When I watch that movie, I'm like, why don't we do this?
Yeah.
I mean, the movie probably displayed a few reasons why. But, I mean, I didn't pay attention to that. In all seriousness, there is actually like I think there's some future Purge movies where they sort of set it up as the Purge being a conspiracy for the higher elite to weed out some of the not elite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in fact, had an episode on it.
Yeah, exactly. Get the poor people to fight each other, man.
That's right. Well, the rich sort of chill and don't get killed.
Hells yeah. That's it. Turn them on each other, man.
Well, as someone that's absolutely not rich, I'm against the Purge.
I think you're rich in StarCraft love.
I'm rich in experience.
I think in experience.
Yeah. In
your lifetime passion that you follow out here on your stream. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Actually, I do have a good collection of weapons as well. None of them are ranged weapons. They're all melee weapons, but
yeah,
I'm not completely defenseless. I got some relatively high level white belt jujitsu inside my brain as well.
Yeah. Dude, I get so triggered. Every now and then I'll open up one of these like C grade zombie series on Netflix or something where I'm like, I'll just put something on. It'll probably be bad, but we'll see. Oh man, I can't remember. There was one I was watching like a few months back and I put it on and it's so funny. It's like, all right, it's like a month into the outbreak and nobody's figured out how to pick up a fucking melee weapon. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? They're just like, we're still at the point where every time we see a zombie, we panic, shake, and then trip over and get bit. Like, and I'm like, are you guys fucking serious? These people would be gone in the first 2 to 3 days. Like, these are the ones that make up most of the horde of zombies. They are the people who can't figure out how to fucking carry an axe around or something with them. I'm just like, how can you make a series? For me, the whole joy of watching a zombie series is people creatively killing things. You know, not creatively dying because they're so useless, And people are like, oh, but I love it because like that's how I would react in that scenario. I'm like, no, you'd be a zombie within the first episode, and then you wouldn't be in the rest of the show.